Show coverage.
Dr. Froilan Kalilong, magandang gabi po. Si Radyo Man, Jenny Pahilanga sa ating DZXL special coverage po dito sa Usapang Batas. Magandang gabi. Hello, Dr. Froilan. Hello, good evening po. Okay, abangan natin. Si Dr. Froilan po, Kalilong pala, no, ating makakasama po. Ayan, sa atin po, isang political analyst po. Ayan. Dr. Froilan, hello, good evening. Ayan, abangan natin. Okay. Hello po, Dr. Froilan.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for having me again. And magandang gabi po sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subaybay.
Good evening po. At ako po si Radyoman, Jenny Pahilanga po. Radyoman Jenny sa ating DZXL special coverage ngayon sa Usapang Batas. Dahil nga po dito sa ating usapin ng pagdating po dyan sa Senado ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. At ngayon po ay nandun din ang ating mga kababayan po, yung supporters, ang NBI, nandun po lahat sila. Ano po bang ating analisa dito, Dr. Froilan, sa nangyayaring ito ngayon na pagdating po dyan ni Senator de la Rosa at si dating senador din, Antonio Trillanes, kanina nagpakita rin po dyan.
Well, sobrang daming kaganapan na nangyari ngayong araw, no? This is actually one of the should I say, action-packed days, no? Of course, akala natin ang mangyayari lamang yung mangyayaring botohan sa plenaryo, no? Pero medyo na-overshadow ito ng shake-up sa Senado. Gayon din naman ng ito nga, yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon na paglitaw, no, all of a sudden ni Senator De La Rosa after several months of not being able to be present.
6 na buwan,
Yes,
Dr. Froilan,
yes.
no?
Oo, medyo mabigat yun. And I think he really came in such a fashion today. I mean, because he had to cast his vote for the eventual change of the Senate presidency. No? And yun nga, kasabay nga nito, syempre nagkaroon ng tension primarily between NBI, PNP, and of course the Senate. No? Yung kasing issue, Ms. Jen, actually revolves in two important principles, no. Number one, yung authority of law enforcement agencies kagaya nga nitong Philippine National Police at saka NBI to enforce warrants and court orders. And number two, yung institutional independence and internal authority of the Senate of the Philippines over its own premises and members. So when ngayon nagdesisyon si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, no, to put Senator Bato de la Rosa under Senate protective custody, ang ibig sabihin po nito is that the Senate leadership has agreed to temporarily hold or shelter Senator Bato within Senate jurisdiction instead of immediately surrendering him doon sa mga outside authorities. And this is not the same as immunity from arrest. It does not automatically erase a warrant or a criminal liability. Rather, it creates a constitutional and institutional complication regarding how the arrest is to be carried out. No? Kasi yung PNP tsaka yung NBI, they simply cannot storm the Senate. Remember, ang Senado ay hindi lang basta-basta ordinaryong building. It's a co-equal constitutional institution, and dahil nga meron tayong separation of powers, law enforcement agencies cannot casually enter and conduct operations there without serious constitutional or political consequences. So hindi po basta-basta pinapasok ang Senado.
Oo. At ito po ang nangyayari ngayon. At nangyari nga hanggang ngayon dyan po ay nasa labas ang NBI, no, sa Senado. So sa sitwasyong ito ay yan nga po ay sa ating pagkakaobserba ng mga ibang kababayan natin, bakit kailangan po yung mga sitwasyon ko na tumatakbo kanina, halos masubsub na, no, at nanggagalaiti si Senator Bato de la Rosa dyan po sa Senado. Yun lang naman yung mga iba sa katanungan at reaksyon ng ating mga kababayan na ba't kailangan mangyari ito, no, Dr. Froilan?
Well, basically kasi unang-una, siguro nandito na yung yung sentimiento ni Senator Bato de la Rosa na maaaring yung illegal na pagkakaaresto ng dating pangulo maaaring maulit na naman ngayon, Alam naman natin yung nangyari nung Marso nung nakaraang taon when the president was forcibly taken to the Hague even if there was no Philippine court that issued a warrant,
Yes.
And kumbaga parang siguro nasa isip niya na nangyari isang beses, maaaring mangyari, pero kung papahintulutang mangyari ito, malaking dagok yon sa ating soberanya bilang bansa. And so I think this is the reason why he is really up in arms. Kaya kanina very passionate siya nung nasa loob ng Senate halls regarding his sentiments about this arrest. Actually, medyo malabo naman talaga, Kasi kung titingnan natin, kung yung pag-aresto gagawin, kinakailangan merong malinaw na channeling, Ano ba yung rason ng pagkaka-aresto? Sino ang nag-issue ng arrest warrant? Anong institution na magpapatupad nito? Bakit merong ganitong klase ng warrant? At dumaan ba to sa tamang proseso? I think this is what Senator Bato de la Rosa is actually furious about kanina.
Pero yung pagdating nga doon, din sa Senado ni dating Senator Antonio Trillanes, di ba? At yun ay sinasabi nga niya na sinabi po ni Bato nga noon na samahan ng ICC kapag aarestuhin siya, sabi ni Trillanes. Kaya pumunta siya roon, Dr. Froilan, at nagulat din tayo. Biglang may former Senator Trillanes na the fourth na dumating kasama ang NBI, Dr. Froilan.
Well, ito nga medyo self-contradicting kasi ang binabanggit naman ni DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla wala pa talagang kumbaga wala pang visa yung dala-dala na warrant ni former Senator Trillanes. So well, I think he's just there, pwede naman niyang gawin to actually as an ordinary citizen. It's just that medyo maraming mga kababayan tayo, medyo parang what is he doing there again? I mean, ano ba talaga ang ginagawa niya rito na naman, And we need to understand that, these things naman can be carried out. I mean, he was a former senator, and maybe he's just doing this because there was a challenge presented to him in the first place. So let's be kind to Senator Trillanes, Pero ang kailangan natin tignan dito kasi meron ba talagang legal weight yung dala-dala niyang dokumento? Kasi kung wala, di optics lang talaga to, tsaka control of the narrative again, at pagpapakita lamang ng para mabuo yung impression na mayroong pagkakamali si Senator Bato de la Rosa when in fact wala naman talagang tama pang proseso na nailalatan para sa kanyang pagkaka-aresto.
Kaya yun ang kanina ay ilan din sa ating mga kababayan. Ayan, malakas ang loob ni former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. Pero ang tanong dito ng ilan po natin mga nakikinig at nanonood, kung marapatin niyo pong sagutin, Dr. Froilan, ibig ba sabihin ito, dyan mananatiling matagal si Senator Bato de la Rosa sa Senado?
Well, usually kasi ang maaring mangyari rito yung tinatawag natin na negotiated surrender. The Senate may eventually surrender the senator after legal motions or arrangements. And this is the most likely route because it avoids constitutional crisis. Ang isa po pwede rin mangyari, temporary Senate custody, wherein the Senate may keep the senator temporarily while motions are being filed or legal questions are clarified or political negotiations occur. So this buys time. Medyo matagal yun, And the third possibility is the Supreme Court intervention.
Actually yun, Dr. Froilan, di ba? Kasi may Supreme Court na dumulog
Yes, so if conflict escalates, the issue may eventually reach the Supreme Court, and the court could be asked to intervene whether the Senate custody is valid or whether law enforcement can compel surrender, and what constitutional limits exist. So, ang tanong natin dito is, does being a senator provide immunity? Dito, ang sagot natin dito, plain and simple, partially lamang. Kasi under the Constitution, senators are protected from arrest Congress only for offenses punishable by not more than 6 years imprisonment while the Congress is in session. So kung yung kaso na ipinapataw sa kanya is punishable by more than 6 years imprisonment, which in this case it is, no, pwede talaga siyang maaresto, no. And pero if yung kasing tinatawag nating parliamentary immunity, it generally does not apply, lalo na kapag more than 6 years yung imprisonment. So, a senator can still legally be arrested for serious crimes. Okay? So, kaya lang kasi, titignan natin dito, no, why is this a different scenario? Because Ronald De La Rosa is not an ordinary senator. Politically, he is a close Duterte ally. He is a former PNP chief and strongly associated with the Duterte drug war. No? So kapag inaresto mo siya, hindi lang to basta-basta law enforcement. It would immediately become politically symbolic, institutionally explosive ito, and potentially polarizing talaga. Kaya nga, kumaga, parang yung discussion about Senate protective custody, it's really more about political strategy and institutional positioning as they are about legal procedures. So these are some of the things that we need to understand here, no, na hindi lang ito basta-basta pag-aresto. This also is an optic, no? It's a political narrative in the making. Kasi yung inaaresto is a close Duterte ally.
Correct. And you as bilang magaling na political analyst, Dr. Froilan, kitang-kita naman natin, yan ang nangyayari ngayon sa ating gobyerno. More on the political, hindi ba? And ito, Dr. Froilan, yung pananahimik ng Malacanang na no comment sila sa nangyayaring ito sa Senado ay makabubuti ito sa ngayon muna.
Well, siguro I think the president and Malacanang is still also reeling from the surprise and the shock that this day actually presented itself with. Medyo bumbansa naman, medyo gulat at nabigla talaga. And I think by tomorrow they will be able to come up with statements. Pero siguro ang magandang intindihin natin dito is kung paano igagalang at dapat igalang ng executive yung desisyon ng legislative being a co-equal branch. At lalong-lalo na itong mga nangyari ngayon sa Kongreso tsaka dito sa Senado. No, I think these are democratic exercises. These are political processes that are very much supportive of democratic spaces in the country. And I think the president understands this, and he should respect this proceedings or this turnarounds in the Senate as well as in the Congress.
And we all know meron tayong bisita sa bansa, from the president ng Paraguay. Pero grabe ang nangyayari sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. Yan, more on, sabi nga politika. Ayan, politika ang nangyayaring napakagulo. Ayan. So,
napakagulo talaga.
Oo nga. Ngayon, sa nakikita mo, Dr. Froilan, yan muna ang ating aantayin ngayon habang nandiyan si Senator Bato sa loob ng sa Senado.
Tama po. And siguro maganda ipagdasal natin na magkaroon ng maayos na resolution itong mga kaganapan sa ating bayan because kapag nagpatuloy po itong mga matitinding mga political tensions na to, syempre hindi to maganda, no? Lalong-lalo na sa ating bansa ngayon, ang dami nating kinakaharap na economic problems and all this political noise is coming in. It will create a great deal of economic instability for us. The investors will think that our political climate is not conducive for business. It will mean loss of capital, and this is certainly not good for us considering na ang dami nating economic problems sa kinakaharap. No? So mas maganda ma-resolve sa maayos na paraan, maiwasan yung tension, maiwasan yung violence because things like this kinakailangan hindi siya mag-escalate, no? Because ang kinakailangan mamayani yung respeto sa mga institusyon na meron tayo.
And all this because of politics, Dr. Froilan.
Exactly.
Anong
We're
payo?
seeing how politics is very divisive at the moment.
Grabe.
Yeah.
Ano pong nyo masasabi o reaksyon naman ngayon sa NBI muna dyan at saka dyan sa sa Senado? Yan, yung mga empleyado po nila dyan na nagpo-protekta din, of course, na hindi makapasok nga ang NBI dyan. Wala nagkakagulo-gulo po sila, Dr. Froilan, no?
Well, basically, I think kailangan talagang kung susundin naman natin talaga yung reglamento ng pagpapatupad ng due process at paghahain ng maayos ng arrest warrant, then I think there will be no problem. Like I said a while ago, even if he is being given protective custody, for as long as there is already a warrant of arrest issued by a competent Philippine court, and it will not impede on our sovereignty as a country, I think by all means, pwede naman tong ihain. Pero ang sinasabi natin dito is, dapat igalang yung proseso at igalang din yung institution. Otherwise, we're looking at an arbitrary, arbitrary dispensation nitong warrant na sineserve. And this is certainly not good for our democracy and certainly not good for a sitting senator because the impression given is that kung isang senator kagaya ni Bato de la Rosa is ginagawa ng ganito, ng maaring pang-abuso sa kanyang karapatan bilang individual, di mas lalong yung ordinaryong mamamayan kailangan talagang matakot because maaring kahit sino po pwedeng patawan ito. No? I mean, that's the kind of impression that it may bring to the people, and certainly it's not good at all, especially for a democracy like ours.
Now, what is your reaction, Dr. Froilan, ngayon na bago na po ang ating Senate President in the person of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano? Diyan sa bahagi po at nga napatalsik bilang Senate President si Senator Tito Sotto III, Dr. Froilan.
Well, I think kung sa mga sinasabi natin na pabor sa acquittal ni Sara Duterte, ni Vice President, I think this is a good measure na nangyari, na nagkaroon ng palitan. Alam naman natin that Senator Alan Peter Cayetano is a close Duterte ally, and at the same time, alam natin kasi, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, in fairness, is a lawyer, and he understands the rules, the technicalities, and the legalities, particularly of the impeachment, and is very keen on details. So, ang maalala natin, sinasabi ng ilan, it may result in procedural delays. Pwedeng maantala, pero alam naman natin, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano is just very keen on details, and he follows the law by the letter. And so, kung sakasakali man na magkaroon ng mga unnecessary delay, I think this will really work in favor of the Vice President because pagka nagkaroon ng pagkaantala, mamawala kahit paano yung momentum, yung political interest will wane down, pwedeng matabunan ito ng ibang issues, pwede rin naman na magkaroon ng mga ibang pagkaalyansa, especially 2028 elections is just around the corner. And so this will really create a lot of difference, I would say, na kahit na-elevate na siya sa Kongreso, mula sa Kongreso, na-impeach na nga si Sara kanina sa Congress, we need to understand na ang talagang labanan naman wala naman sa Kongreso. Nandito yan talaga sa Senado, At dito sila yung magde-decide, and with the numbers right now, kung dati malabo yung 16, nakikita ko malabo yung 16 to convict, mas lalong lumabo ngayon, na nabaliktad na yung dating minority, sila na ngayon ng new majority. So I think mas may giging mahirap yung conviction ngayon dito sa Senado. Pero sa akin is mas maganda pa rin talaga na matuloy yung impeachment at mailatag talaga yung mga ebidensya at testimonya para na rin maliwanagan ng ating mga kababayan. After all, we should look at it as a practice also in ensuring accountability and justice, no. Yun nga lang sinasabi natin sa Kongreso, parang na-weaponize talaga itong impeachment, pero maganda na rin na matuloy ito para magkaroon din ng pagkakataon ng ating ikalawang Pangulo na masabi din naman yung kanyang panig and eventually magkaroon ng malayang pagboto yung ating senator judges, and then from there malalaman natin, is it going to be an acquittal or is it really a conviction? I mean, a lot of things could happen between now and at the time that they will be casting their vote.
Yeah, and then transparency and accountability for every Filipino. Yun naman ang inaantay natin, Dr. Froilan. Dr. Froilan,
Exactly.
ano pong payo nyo doon naman sa mga mga supporters? Naku, ay nagkakasagutan, nagkakainitan. Dumadagdag pa sa init ng politika sa ating bansa, Dr. Froilan. But anyway, kalayaan po nila yon. Pero sana, ano bang pwedeng gawin dyan, Dr. Froilan? Tahimik muna.
Well, we could always kumbaga parang
Express, no?
agree to this.
Yeah.
We can always agree to disagree, and it can always be done in the right manner, without hurling insults, without resorting to low blows, no. And yun nga yung mga masasakit na mga palitan ng salita. After all, we're all Filipinos, no. If there's one thing na gusto nating mangyari, yung makakapagpabuti sa ating bansa, no. And sobrang lala ng ating political polarization na nararanasan ngayon. Siguro maganda wag na natin masyadong laglag.
Nakaka-stress, Dr.
Exactly.
Lunes pa lang, Dr. Froilan. Anyway,
Tama
Dr.
po yan.
Froilan, maraming salamat sa oras at pagkakataon. Muli, ano po ang payo nyo pa rin bilang isang magaling na political analyst with all this politics na nangyayari ngayon? I mean, politika sa ating bansa. Go ahead po para sa inyong pagbibigay sa amin ng parting words, Dr. Froilan Calilong. Go ahead.
Well, we always have to be vigilant, no, and we always need to arm ourselves with enlightened and informed understanding about what's happening. And kayo po sa media is a very important cog in making this possible, ano. And mahalaga po kasi yung pagkakaroon natin ng konkretong sandigan ng ating mga opinyon at kung paano natin babalangkasin at titignan yung sitwasyon na nangyayari ngayon. And like I said, no, we always have to be on the side of what is right for the country, because at the end of the day, we can never be, purely divided. As a nation, we cannot allow politics to constantly divide us, because if that happens, wala po tayong patutunguhan. I mean, we only have one country. We need to really be on the same track. Although yes, there will be disagreements that will happen every now and then, but then again, at the end of the day, we need to respect the rule of law, and we need to follow what is really the mandate of the majority.
Very well said. Dr. Froilan Calilong, maraming salamat sa oras po dito sa DCXL News, DCXL 558, Usabang Batas, sa aming DCXL Special Coverage. Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi po at mabuhay po kayo.
Maraming salamat.
DZX